Hello, hello, welcome if this is your first time here. My name is Lorena and I am a coach, a mentor, a guide that is helping people change their self-concept, so that's their self-image, the way they see and perceive themselves and the beliefs they have about themselves, and consciously manifest their dreams, their desires, their reality for themselves through a holistic and emotionally integrated approach. So we're not bypassing anything. We're not just focusing on the mind. That's what we're doing here. And if this is not your first time here, then welcome back. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time, you can subscribe. I'm always very happy when you do that. And today, I think it's just going to be a really quick video because I just have a little something to share about desire and the idea of you're not supposed to be in a state of wanting, you're supposed to be in a state of having what you desire in order for you to call it in order for you to make it a physical reality. Right, so if you're completely unfamiliar with this, with the concept of manifesting your reality consciously, then you're probably not if you're here, and if you are, I've got lots of videos that explain the basics a bit more. I'm going to share the playlist that I have for you here, so you get all the core concepts explained. But in short, if you want to manifest anything in your reality consciously, if you want to call something in that is not yet your present reality that you're currently missing, then what needs to happen is you need to feel the reality of it already being here, even when it's not. So that means you need to feel it in your body. You need to feel yourself as the person you would be if you had it. You need to show up as that. You need to be embodied in that, and you need to feel that reality and live from that reality. None of that is about pretending or faking or acting as if, but getting into that state of being where that reality is already here, when it's very clearly not here in the physical circumstances, is not easy. It's not easy. Sometimes people make it out to be easy, and it is simple. Absolutely, it's a very simple process, but it's not easy because we're human, we have emotions, we're confined by logic, and our mind tells us stories, and it's very difficult to go against that, and also we don't need to. But what I want to touch on today is that whilst it is the end goal for you to drop into the state where what you desire is already a reality, there's a step that people often forget whilst doing this. People often forget to first really want what they want. When you have a desire that arises within you, or you've had a desire for a while, the first thing to do before you even try to get into a state of it's already done and I already have it, is I suggest you to just allow yourself to want it. Allow yourself to feel the longing for it, the yearning for it, what it feels like to not have it. And the reason I'm suggesting you to do this is not so you can stay there. That is not the intention. That's also what people sometimes do, right? They get into the state of longing and wanting and they just stay there and they never feel into the state of what it would be like to have it, and they never therefore manifest what they desire. But if you just get into the state of longing to really feel it out, to really immerse yourself into that and feel all the emotions that come up with that, with the not having it, right? Whether that's grief or anger or resentment or shame. There's a lot of shame that comes with desires, right? Very often when I work with my clients, what comes up is that they are afraid to claim their desires fully, to openly speak about them, to even claim them just for themselves, even not just openly speaking about them, but only say to themselves, yes, that is what I want. That is the thing I want, and that is what is meant for me. That often comes with a lot of shame and fear because what if it doesn't happen? What if I don't deserve it? What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail, right? All of these things come up. So shame often plays into it. Fear often plays into it. Anger and frustration for the why is it not here plays into it very often. If it is something that you used to have, right? Like maybe it's something that you want to manifest back or somebody that you want to manifest back, then there might be grief attached to that, right? There might be some sense of loss. I had this and now it's not here anymore. Grief or also shame because why did I lose this? Why is it not here anymore? Because of these emotions being present, very likely, that's also why it's important to feel into the longing, because that's when all the emotions come up and then we can deal with the emotions. Then we can feel through and alchemize and transmute these emotions and turn them into your driver, into your motivation for the embodiment of the state of being you actually want to live from, the state of being where your desired reality is already here. And what this also does for you, right, you feeling into the longing and craving and yearning, it gives you clarity on what it truly is that you want, and it makes your vision very clear. Because if you don't allow yourself to feel yourself wanting it, then what can happen is that you have a desire, right? Let's say you want a relationship. You have the desire for a relationship, and then the only thing that's clear for you is I want a relationship. I want a partner. But you don't actually know what that relationship looks and feels like because you're not allowing yourself to feel the lack of that, right? What is it you desire about that? What feeling is it that you think that will give you? What is it that you're missing in your life right now? What is it that you maybe didn't receive in previous relationships? Right? Maybe you're really clear subconsciously on, I want somebody who supports my hobbies, who has the same love for hiking, for example, that I do. Maybe that's subconsciously really, really important to you, but because you're not allowing yourself to feel into the longing, to feel into the wanting of what's missing for you, you don't have a clear vision on what the relationship that you desire actually looks like. Right? When I speak to people in my DMs on Instagram or when I first start working with clients, the first thing we do in my program, Recreate Yourself, is we design a vision. Not the first thing. It's one of the first things we do. It's one of the first steps, because the clearer you are on your vision and what you truly desire, the better or easier it is for you to keep the focus on it and to hold that vision, right? If you're not clear on what you want, how do you want to hold the vision? How do you want to feel into the state of having it? And a really good way, apart from intellectually getting clear on what you want, is to feel into it, to feel into what's missing. So that's also another reason why it's really good and important to feel into the longing, the wanting, the yearning of it. So it's for clarity, and it's so you can bring up the emotions that are in the way, you can process them and alchemize them. And then when you've done that, that's when the surrender comes in. That's when it comes in that you just give it up and you trust and you feel it done. And you feel like, I've longed enough. I've wanted this enough. I've felt into this enough. Now I've done enough. Now I've done enough. Now I can just feel into what it would be like to have it. This is obviously a very simplified explanation of this, because there can be a lot more that goes into it, a lot more that's in the way, right? This is why it's not a 2-minute process with most things, at least, right? With some things it might be a 2-minute process because you don't have an intense emotional attachment, but with things that are maybe taking a bit longer for you to get into the state of being where it's already done, or where there's a lot of emotional charge attached to it, we usually need to work through some things. And, you know, the emotional integration aspect and the emotional processing is a big part of what I guide the people I work with, what I guide my clients through. So it's not as easy as just feel through it and then it's gone. In most cases, in a simple way, this is how it works. When you're feeling into the longing, you're feeling into the emotion, you've got clarity on your vision, then you can surrender it all and you can feel into what it's like to have it. And if you can sustain that state, and if you can hold that vision despite the circumstances that are around you, despite the reality that is being shown to you, then you've really got it. And then it's inevitable. Then it's definitely going to happen. And I know it's not easy. I'm actually going through this myself with something right now, where my reality is showing me the exact opposite of what I want. But I'm holding the frame. I'm holding the embodiment. I'm holding the vision, not through bypassing what I'm seeing in my circumstances, but through the feeling. And that feeling was only possible for me to drop into and sustain and maintain after I first felt the frustration and the annoyance at it not being here, and the longing for it and the missing. Allow yourself to miss what you don't have. It's not a bad thing. We can't stay there. We need to transmute it, but feel it first. Allow yourself to feel it first. So I hope this helped you. As I said, if you want more videos like this and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. You can always message me there. I love connecting with you all. I've got a Facebook community too, a private community, and I've also got a newsletter. If you're interested in that, I'm linking everything below. I am wishing you a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!